When Elon Musk opened his mail on December 15, 2024, he saw something impossible. A cream-colored envelope with handwriting he knew by heart. His wife Clara's handwriting, the same loops, the same curves, the same way she wrote his name. But Clara had been dead for 6 months. Elon's hands shook as he opened the letter. Inside, Clara had written about things happening right now. Today, she knew about the cold sandwich on his desk. She knew his son Marcus had asked if Daddy still loved him. She knew things only someone watching him could know. The letter was postmarked yesterday from Austin, Texas, where Clara had died in a car accident on June 3, 2024. How was this possible? Dead people don't send letters. Dead people don't know what's happening in your life today. Yet here it was, real paper, real ink, real words in Clara's handwriting. Then another letter came, and another. Each one knew impossible things. Each one arrived with a fresh postmark. Each one seemed to come from beyond the grave. Was someone playing a cruel trick on him? Was he losing his mind from grief? Or had Clara somehow found a way to reach him from the other side? Elon had to know the truth. He hired investigators. He checked security cameras. He analyzed the handwriting, but nothing made sense. Until one letter told him to go to Zilker Park at sunset, to look under a specific bench. That's where he would find his answers. What Elon discovered that day would change everything he thought he knew about love, loss, and goodbye. This is the true story of the letters that kept coming, the mystery that seemed impossible, and the love that refused to die. Watch until the end to discover how Clara did it, to learn the secret she kept for months, and to find out what was in the final gift she left for Elon 18 years later. Because this isn't a ghost story, it's something much more beautiful, much more real, and much more heartbreaking. The answer will shock you, the truth will make you cry, and the ending will change how you think about love forever. Stay with us to find out what happens when love becomes stronger than death itself. The December rain drummed against the tall windows of the SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California. Elon Musk rubbed his tired eyes and looked at the clock on his computer screen. It was 7:43 p.m. on December 15, 2024. He had been in meetings since 6 o'clock that morning. Just a few more emails, he muttered to himself. His office was quiet now. Most of the engineers had gone home hours ago. Outside his door, he could hear the soft hum of computers and the distant sound of someone vacuuming the hallways. On his desk sat 3 empty coffee cups and a sandwich he had forgotten to eat at lunch. Elon's phone buzzed. A text from his mother. "Did you remember to call the boys before bedtime?" He looked at the clock again. 7:44 p.m. Marcus and Owen would already be asleep in Austin, Texas. Another night he had missed tucking them in. Another promise broken. His chest felt tight. It had been 6 months since Clara died. 6 months since that terrible morning of June 3, 2024. 6 months of pretending he was okay when he wasn't okay at all. A soft knock interrupted his thoughts. "Come in," Elon called out. His assistant, Janet, poked her head through the door. She was a kind woman in her 50s who had worked with him for 3 years. She never complained when he worked too late or forgot to eat. "I'm heading home, Mr. Musk," she said gently. "But the mail came late today. I thought you might want to see it before tomorrow." She walked in and placed a small stack of envelopes and packages on his desk. Most of it looked like business papers and bills, nothing important. "Thanks, Janet," Elon said. "Have a good night." "You too, and please go home soon. Those boys need their father." The door closed softly behind her. Elon stared at the mail without really seeing it. Everyone kept telling him what his boys needed. But how could he give them what they needed when he felt so empty inside? He reached for the stack of mail, ready to toss it all aside until morning. But then he saw it. A cream-colored envelope. Fancy paper, the expensive kind. And on the front, written in flowing cursive handwriting, was his name, Elon Musk. His heart stopped beating for a moment. He knew that handwriting. He had seen it on birthday cards and grocery lists and love notes tucked into his briefcase. He had seen it on their wedding invitation and on the boys' baby books. It was Clara's handwriting. Elon's hands began to shake. This was impossible. Clara had died 6 months ago. He had watched them lower her casket into the ground at the cemetery in Austin. He had held Marcus and Owen as they cried. He had signed the death certificate, but this was her handwriting. He was sure of it. Maybe it was an old card, something that had gotten lost in the mail system. Maybe the post office had found it stuck behind a sorting machine. These things happened, didn't they? With trembling fingers, Elon picked up the envelope. It felt fresh, not old and dusty. He turned it over. The flap was sealed with a small gold sticker, a sunflower, Clara's favorite flower. He checked the postmark. Austin, Texas. Dated December 14, 2024. Yesterday. That's not possible, Elon whispered to the empty room. He sat frozen for what felt like hours but was probably only a minute. Rain continued to tap against the windows. Somewhere in the building, a door closed. The normal sounds of an evening at SpaceX, but nothing felt normal anymore. Finally, carefully, Elon slid his finger under the envelope flap and opened it. Inside was a single piece of cream-colored paper, folded once. He unfolded it with hands that wouldn't stop shaking. The letter was dated today, December 15, 2024. My dearest Elon, I know you're working too hard again. I can picture you right now, sitting at your desk with cold coffee and an uneaten sandwich. You always forget to eat when you're stressed. Elon looked at the sandwich on his desk. His throat felt tight. Remember to eat lunch tomorrow. Real food, not just coffee. Your body needs fuel, even if your mind wants to keep running on empty. And please, please call the boys before bedtime. I know you're busy saving the world, but Marcus asked me yesterday if you still loved him. Of course you do, but 7-year-olds need to hear it. They need to feel it. Elon's eyes burned with tears. Marcus had asked that. How did Clara know? Unless he kept reading. Owen is struggling with his math homework. He won't tell you because he thinks you're too busy, but he needs help. 20 minutes with you would mean everything to him. I'm watching over you, my love. I'm watching over all 3 of you. And I'm worried. You're disappearing into your work the way you always do when things get hard. But the boys need you to be present, not just successful. Take care of yourself, for them, for me. All my love, always and forever. Clara. The letter slipped from Elon's fingers and floated to the desk. He couldn't breathe. The office walls seemed to close in around him. This wasn't an old letter that had gotten lost. This letter knew things happening right now, today, this week. Marcus's question about love, Owen's math struggles, the uneaten sandwich. How? Elon stood up so fast his chair rolled backward and hit the wall. He paced to the window, then back to the desk. He picked up the letter and read it again. Then again. Handwriting was perfect, every loop and curve exactly like Clara's. He had saved her old letters locked in a drawer at his Austin home. He could compare them, but he already knew. This was real, but it couldn't be real. Clara was gone. He had said goodbye. He had watched the funeral. He had scattered rose petals on her grave, just like she had written in her will that she wanted. White roses because they meant remembrance. Clara, he said out loud, his voice cracking. Are you? How is this? The office stayed silent. Of course it did. Dead people didn't send letters. Dead people didn't know about uneaten sandwiches or children's questions or math homework struggles. Unless they did. Elon grabbed his phone and took a picture of the envelope, the postmark, and the letter. Then he gently folded the letter and slipped it back into the envelope. His logical mind, the mind that had built rockets and electric cars and changed the world, told him there had to be an explanation. Someone was playing a cruel trick, or he was losing his mind from grief, or there was some simple answer he wasn't seeing. But his heart, the part of him that had loved Clara since the moment he met her at that charity event in 2016, whispered something different. His heart said, "She found a way back to you." Elon looked out at the rainy California night. In Austin, Texas, 2 little boys were sleeping without their father there to kiss them goodnight, without their mother there at all. And somewhere, somehow, Clara's words had reached across impossible distance to find him. Tomorrow he would investigate. Tomorrow he would figure out how this was possible. Tomorrow he would be logical and scientific and smart. But tonight, Elon Musk held a letter from his dead wife and let himself cry. Elon didn't sleep that night. He caught the last flight from Los Angeles to Austin, landing at 2:17 a.m. on December 16, 2024. The letter sat in his jacket pocket, pressed against his heart. He kept touching it, making sure it was still real. His driver, Miguel, picked him up from Austin Bergstrom International Airport. The older man didn't ask why Elon had called at midnight demanding a ride. He just opened the car door and drove through the empty Texas streets in silence. When they pulled up to Elon's house on the edge of Lake Austin, all the lights were off. Inside, Marcus and Owen slept peacefully. Their nanny, Mrs. Chen, was dozing on the couch, waiting for him. "Mr. Musk," she whispered, standing up quickly. "I didn't expect you until Friday." "Change of plans," Elon said quietly. "Thank you for staying. Go home and get some rest." After Mrs. Chen left, Elon walked upstairs to check on his boys. Marcus lay sprawled across his bed, blankets kicked to the floor. His brown hair stuck up in every direction. At 7 years old, he looked more like Clara every day, the same sharp chin, the same way his nose crinkled when he smiled. Elon picked up the blankets and tucked them gently around his son. In the next room, 5-year-old Owen slept curled in a tight ball, hugging his stuffed astronaut. He had lighter hair than Marcus, more like Elon's, but he had Clara's green eyes and her quiet way of watching everything. "I'm sorry I wasn't here," Elon whispered to both sleeping boys. "I'm sorry for so many things." Downstairs, Elon made coffee even though it was almost 3 in the morning. He sat at the kitchen table, the same table where they had eaten breakfast as a family just 6 months and 12 days ago. The last morning, he pulled out the letter and read it again. Then he went to his study and unlocked the bottom drawer of his desk. Inside was a wooden box Clara had given him for their 5th wedding anniversary. Inside the box were letters she had written him over the years, birthday cards, Valentine's Day notes, a funny letter she had written when he was stressed about a SpaceX launch, a serious letter she had written after their first big argument about him working too much. Elon spread them across his desk and compared the handwriting. Every letter matched. The way she made her capital E, the little heart she always drew to dot her letter I, the way her words slanted slightly to the right. It was her handwriting, no question. But how? As dawn began to brighten the Texas sky, Elon's mind wandered back to the beginning, back to when Clara was alive and everything made sense. They had met on October 12, 2016, at a Tesla Foundation charity event in Palo Alto, California. The event raised money for clean energy research. Elon had given a speech about the future of sustainable transportation. Everyone clapped politely and told him he was brilliant, except for one woman. She had walked right up to him during the reception, wearing a simple blue dress and no jewelry. Her red hair was pulled back in a ponytail. She looked him straight in the eye. "Mr. Musk," she said, "I appreciated your speech, but I have a question about Tesla's cobalt mining." Most people wanted selfies or to talk about Mars. This woman wanted to discuss mining ethics. "What about it?" Elon asked, intrigued. "Your batteries need cobalt. Most cobalt comes from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Children mine it in dangerous conditions. What is Tesla doing about that?" She wasn't rude. She wasn't trying to embarrass him. She genuinely wanted to know. Her green eyes were full of intelligence and concern. "We're working on it," Elon said. "We're trying to reduce cobalt use and ensure ethical sourcing." "Trying isn't enough," she said softly. "Those are real children, real lives." Then she smiled, not a mean smile, but a warm one. "I'm Clara Matheson. I'm an environmental scientist. I study ocean pollution. I admire your work, Mr. Musk. I just think you could do even better." That was the moment, right there. Elon fell in love with a woman who challenged him to be better instead of just telling him he was great. They talked for 2 hours that night about oceans and space and responsibility and dreams. Clara told him about her research on plastic pollution. Elon told her about his plans for Mars. She laughed at his jokes. He admired her passion. He asked for her number. She said no. "I don't date billionaires," she explained. "They're usually too busy for real relationships." "I'm not usually anything," Elon said. "Give me a chance to prove it." She thought about it. Then she wrote her email address on a napkin. "Prove it in writing first. If you can make time to actually write thoughtful emails, maybe you can make time for a date." Elon wrote her an email that very night, then another the next day, and the next. They wrote back and forth for 3 weeks before their first official date. That date was at Mozart's Coffee Roasters on Lake Austin. Clara had moved to Austin 2 years earlier for a research position at the University of Texas. They sat at a table overlooking the lake and talked until the coffee shop closed. "Why Austin?" Elon had asked her. "The water," Clara said, gazing at the lake. "I grew up in Colorado in the mountains, but I've always loved water. Lakes, rivers, oceans. Water is life, you know. We can't survive without it. That's why I study ocean health." "I think about life differently," Elon admitted. "I think about survival beyond Earth. What happens if something destroys our planet?" "Then we should probably stop destroying it ourselves," Clara said gently. "Mars is amazing, Elon, but Earth is home. We should fight for both." She was right. She was always right about things like that. They dated for 6 months. Elon flew to Austin every weekend he could. They walked around Lady Bird Lake. They ate breakfast tacos at Torchy's. They visited the Congress Avenue Bridge to watch the bats fly out at sunset. Clara met his other children from previous relationships. She was kind to them, never trying to replace their mothers, just being a steady, caring presence. On April 10, 2017, they got married in Big Sur, California. It was a small ceremony on a cliff overlooking the Pacific Ocean. Only close family and friends attended. Clara wore a simple white dress and carried sunflowers. Elon wore a dark suit and couldn't stop smiling. "I promise to challenge you," Clara said in her vows. "I promise to support you. I promise to remind you that being human matters more than being successful. And I promise to love you, even when you forget to eat lunch." Everyone laughed. Elon cried. Marcus was born on March 3, 2018. Owen followed on July 15, 2020. Clara insisted on normal family dinners at least 3 times a week, no matter how busy Elon's schedule got. She made him turn off his phone during bedtime stories. She reminded him that his boys needed a father, not just a famous name. And slowly, Elon learned to balance. Not perfectly. He still worked too much. He still missed dinners sometimes. But Clara's gentle pushing made him better. Then came June 3, 2024. Elon's coffee had gone cold. The sun was fully up now. He could hear Marcus and Owen starting to wake upstairs. That morning, that terrible morning, Clara had kissed him goodbye at 7:30 a.m. She was driving to her research lab at the University of Texas. They were studying microplastic filtration in river systems. "Don't forget, you have a video call with Marcus's teacher at 3, Clara had reminded him. "He's struggling with reading." "I'll be there," Elon promised. "Will you really, or will a meeting run late?" "I'll really be there." She smiled and kissed him again. "I love you, Elon Musk, even when you make me crazy." "I love you more, Clara Musk." Those were the last words they said to each other. At 8:47 a.m., Clara's car was hit by a drunk driver on Interstate 35 just north of downtown Austin. The driver ran a red light at the intersection with Airport Boulevard. Clara's small hybrid car didn't stand a chance against his large pickup truck. She died instantly. The police said she didn't suffer. The drunk driver's name was Robert Patterson. He was 34 years old. He had 2 previous DUI convictions. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison at his trial on October 8, 2024. 15 years for stealing Clara's life. 15 years for making Marcus and Owen grow up without their mother. 15 years for destroying everything. Elon had been in a meeting when it happened. His phone rang at 9:02 a.m. He ignored it. He was discussing the Starship launch schedule. The call seemed less important than the meeting. Then his assistant knocked on the door. Her face was pale. "Mr. Musk, you need to take this call. It's urgent." That's how he found out. A police officer's voice on the phone saying words that didn't make sense. "Accident. Interstate 35, fatal, next of kin." Elon had flown to Austin immediately. He identified Clara's body at the hospital. He held Marcus and Owen as they sobbed. He planned a funeral while feeling like his own heart had stopped beating. The funeral was on June 8, 2024 at a small cemetery near Lake Travis. Hundreds of people came. Clara's family from Colorado. Friends from her university. People from environmental organizations she had worked with, Tesla and SpaceX employees who had known her. They buried her under an oak tree inside of the water she had loved so much. White roses covered her casket. Marcus and Owen each threw in a sunflower, her favorite. Elon hadn't cried at the funeral. He was numb, frozen. He held his boy's hands and stared at the casket and felt nothing. The crying came later, in private, in the dark. When no one was watching, "Daddy." Elon looked up. Marcus stood in the doorway of the study, rubbing his eyes. His pajamas had rockets on them, a gift from last Christmas. "Hey, buddy," Elon said, quickly wiping his face. "You're up early." "You're home," Marcus said, surprised. "You weren't supposed to come until Friday." "I wanted to see you guys," Elon said. He opened his arms and Marcus ran to him. Elon hugged his son tight, breathing in the smell of his kid's shampoo and sleepy boy warmth. "Daddy," Marcus whispered, "do you still love me?" Elon's heart broke. "Of course I do. Why would you ask that?" "You're always working. You're always gone." "I know," Elon said softly. And I'm sorry, that's going to change, I promise. You always promise. This time I mean it. Marcus pulled back and looked at his father with Clara's intelligent green eyes. Mommy used to make you come home. She did, Elon agreed. She was good at that. I miss her. Me too, Marcus, me too. They sat together in the study as the morning light grew stronger. And in Elon's pocket, impossible and real, Clara's letter waited with its impossible wisdom. How did she know Marcus had asked if Daddy still loved him? How did she know about Owen's math homework? How did she know any of it? Tonight, Elon would start investigating. But right now, his son needed him. And for once, Elon was present. For the next 6 days, Elon tried to be the father Clara's letter had asked him to be. He took Marcus to school every morning. They talked about superheroes and planets and why the sky was blue. Marcus smiled more than he had in months. He helped Owen with his math homework every evening. Adding and subtracting was hard for a 5-year-old, but Elon was patient. He used toy rockets to make it fun. If you have 3 rockets and I give you 2 more, how many do you have? Owen shouted, so proud of himself. They ate dinner together every night. Real dinners, not just takeout. Elon even tried to cook, though he wasn't very good at it. They had burnt grilled cheese on Monday and overcooked pasta on Tuesday. But the boys laughed, and that's what mattered. At night, Elon read bedtime stories. He tucked in Marcus and Owen, kissed their foreheads, and told them he loved them, every single night. But in his quiet moments, Elon couldn't stop thinking about the letter. He carried it with him everywhere. He read it a dozen times a day. He compared the handwriting again and again. He searched online for explanations. Fake letters, forgeries, elaborate pranks, nothing made sense. The letter knew things no one else could know, private family things, unless someone was watching his house, unless someone had cameras or microphones hidden inside. On December 18, Elon hired a security company to sweep his Austin home. They spent 8 hours checking every room, every wall, every corner. Nothing. No cameras, no listening devices, no way anyone was spying on them. Your house is clean, Mr. Musk, the security chief said. If someone's getting information about your family, it's not from here. So where? December 22, 2024 was a busy Tuesday. Elon had meetings at the Tesla Gigafactory in Austin all day. The factory was massive, 2,500 acres of advanced manufacturing just outside the city. They built electric cars and battery systems there. It was one of Tesla's most important facilities. Elon arrived at 6:00 a.m. He met with engineers about production numbers. They were behind schedule on the new Model Y line. Problems with the robotics, delays in parts from suppliers, the usual challenges. By noon, Elon's head hurt. He had drunk 4 cups of coffee and forgotten to eat breakfast again. His assistant at the Austin office was a young man named David. He was efficient and quiet, never bothering Elon unless it was important. At 12:30 p.m., David knocked on Elon's office door. Mr. Musk, sorry to interrupt. The mail just came. I thought you'd want to see this. David held a cream-colored envelope. Elon's coffee cup slipped from his hand. It hit the desk, splashing coffee across his papers. He didn't notice. Where did that come from? Elon stammered. Regular mail delivery, David said, looking confused. Is something wrong? No, it's fine. Thank you, David. David set the envelope on the desk and left, closing the door behind him. Elon stared at the envelope. His hands started shaking again, just like they had a week ago in California. Same cream-colored paper, same gold sunflower sticker, same flowing handwriting spelling out his name. The postmark read, Austin, Texas. December 21, 2024. Yesterday. Clara, Elon whispered. He picked up the envelope carefully as if it might disappear. He turned it over in his hands. It felt real, solid, not a dream. With trembling fingers, he opened it. Inside was another letter dated today. December 22, 2024. My dearest Elon. I'm so proud of you. You've been home for dinner every night this week. You helped Owen with his math. I knew you could do it. But I'm writing today because tomorrow is important. December 23rd. Don't forget Marcus has his winter program at school. He's playing a tree in the play. He probably told you it's no big deal because that's what 7-year-old boys say when they're worried their dad won't show up. But it is a big deal. To him, to me. The program starts at 6:00 p.m. in the school cafeteria at Austin Elementary. Please be there, not on your phone, not checking emails, actually there. present, Marcus needs to see your face in the audience. He needs to know you care about his tree costume more than your next meeting. Also, Owen asked Mrs. Chen if heaven is above the clouds. He's trying to understand where I am. Talk to him tonight. He won't ask you directly because he doesn't want to make you sad, but he needs answers. You're doing better, my love. Keep going, all my love. Clara. Elon read the letter 3 times. His heart pounded in his chest. Marcus's winter program tomorrow night. He had completely forgotten about it, but Clara knew. She knew exactly when it was. She knew Marcus was playing a tree. She even knew Owen had asked Mrs. Chen about heaven. How? Elon grabbed his phone and called Mrs. Chen. Hello, Mr. Musk, she answered. Is everything okay? Did Owen ask you about heaven? Elon said quickly. There was a pause. Yes, actually, yesterday afternoon. How did you know? What did he say exactly? He asked if heaven was above the clouds and if his mother could see him from up there. I told him I thought she could. I hoped that was okay. I didn't want to upset him. No, that's fine, thank you. Elon hung up. His mind raced. The letter was dated today, written before Mrs. Chen had even told him about Owen's question, but Clara knew. She knew yesterday what Owen would ask, unless Clara had written these letters before she died, unless she had predicted what would happen, what the boys would need, when Elon would forget important things. But that was impossible too. How could anyone predict the future that accurately? Elon stood up and paced around his office. He looked out the window at the massive gigafactory floor below. Hundreds of workers building the future piece by piece. Everything made sense down there. Metal and electricity and engineering, logic and science. But this letter, this defied all logic. He pulled out his phone again and took pictures of everything. The envelope, the postmark, the letter, the handwriting. Then he called his personal lawyer in California. James, I need you to do something for me, Elon said. I need you to find the best handwriting expert in the country. Someone who can analyze documents and tell me if they're real or fake. Of course, Mr. Musk. May I ask what this is about? I can't explain right now. Just find someone good and fast. I'll have a name for you by end of day. Next, Elon called the Austin post office. He asked to speak to the postmaster. This is Martin Rodriguez, a man's voice answered. How can I help you? My name is Elon Musk. I received a letter with an Austin postmark dated December 21st. I need to know who mailed it. Sir, I'm sorry, but we can't give out that information. Privacy laws. This is important. The letter was sent to me at the Tesla Gigafactory. Can you at least tell me which post office it went through? There was a long pause. Hold on, let me check our system. Elon waited. His heart hammered. Okay, Rodriguez said finally. That letter went through our main branch on Lamar Boulevard. It was dropped in an outside mailbox on December 20th, picked up on the 21st and processed normally. Do you have cameras on those mailboxes? We do, but the footage only keeps for 48 hours. It's already been erased. Can you tell me anything else? Anything unusual? No, sir. It was just a regular letter. Went through the system like thousands of others every day. Elon thanked him and hung up. Dead end. Whoever mailed the letter had done it normally. No special handling, no clues. That evening, Elon sat with Owen on the living room couch. Marcus was in his room practicing his tree lines for tomorrow's play. Hey, buddy, Elon said gently. Can I ask you something? Owen looked up from his coloring book. Okay. Mrs. Chen said you asked her about heaven. Owen's little face got serious. He nodded slowly. Can you tell me what you're thinking about? Elon asked. Owen was quiet for a moment. He colored a rocket ship orange. Is Mommy above the clouds? I don't know exactly where Mommy is, Elon said honestly. No one really knows what happens after people die, but I believe her love is still with us. I believe she's watching over us somehow. Can she see me? I think so. I think she can see what a brave, smart boy you are. Does she know I miss her? Elon pulled Owen into a hug. She knows, buddy. She definitely knows. Owen hugged him back tight. Daddy, you're home more now. I am. I like it. Me too. They sat together for a while, not talking, just being close. And in Elon's mind, he heard Clara's voice from the letter. Talk to him tonight. He needs answers, she had known. Somehow, impossibly, she had known exactly what Owen needed. The next day, December 23, 2024, Elon cleared his entire afternoon schedule. "Cancel everything after 2:00 p.m., he told David. "I don't care what it is. Cancel it. Even the video conference with the Berlin team. Even that. My son has a school play and I'm going to be there." At 5:30 p.m., Elon picked up Marcus and Owen from after-school care. Marcus wore his tree costume, brown pants, a brown shirt, and green paper leaves taped to his arms. "Do I look silly?" Marcus asked nervously. "You look perfect," Elon said, "like the best tree in the whole forest." Marcus giggled. They arrived at Austin Elementary School at 5:50 p.m. The cafeteria was decorated with paper snowflakes and twinkling lights. Folding chairs were set up in rows. Parents and grandparents filled the seats, everyone holding phones ready to record. Elon found 3 seats in the middle. He sat down with Owen on one side and an empty chair on the other. He turned off his phone completely. Not on silent. Off. The play started at 6:00 p.m. exactly. It was a simple story about winter animals preparing for snow. First graders played rabbits and deer. Second graders played birds and squirrels. And the trees, 5 of them, including Marcus, stood at the back of the stage, swaying their paper leaf arms. Marcus saw Elon in the audience. His whole face lit up with the biggest smile. Elon smiled back and gave him a thumbs up. The play lasted 30 minutes. It was simple and a little chaotic. One kid forgot his lines. Another waved at his mom the whole time, but it was perfect. When it ended, parents clapped and cheered. Elon clapped the loudest. Afterward, Marcus ran to him, still wearing his tree costume. "Did you see me?" Marcus asked breathlessly. "I saw every second," Elon said, kneeling down. "You were the best tree up there." "Really? Really? I'm so proud of you." Marcus hugged him tight. "Thanks for coming, Daddy." "I'll always come," Elon promised. "Always." And in that moment, he meant it. Later that night, after the boys were asleep, Elon sat in his study again. He pulled out both letters, the one from December 15 and the one from December 22. Clara had been right about everything. Marcus's play, the date and time, Owen's questions about heaven, Elon's bad habit of forgetting to eat. These weren't lucky guesses. This was specific knowledge. Someone knew his family intimately. Someone knew his schedule. Someone knew his children's fears and needs. But who and how? Elon opened his laptop and started making a list of everyone who knew his family well enough to write these letters. The list was short, very short, and Clara wasn't on it because Clara was dead. But her words kept coming, reaching across impossible distance. And Elon didn't know if he should be terrified or grateful. Outside his window, the Texas night was dark and still. And somewhere in that darkness, someone held the answer to an impossible mystery. By January 5, 2025, Elon had received 5 letters total. The third letter arrived on December 28, 2024. It reminded him that New Year's Eve was coming and that Marcus was afraid of fireworks. It suggested watching them from inside, through the window, with the boys safe in his arms. Clara was right. On New Year's Eve, when the neighbors set off fireworks, Marcus covered his ears and looked scared. Elon held both boys close by the window, and they watched the colorful lights burst across the Austin sky together. Safe, warm, together. The fourth letter came on January 2, 2025. It told Elon that Owen had a doctor's appointment on January 6 for his kindergarten shots. It reminded him that Owen was terrified of needles and needed his father there to hold his hand. Elon checked his calendar. The appointment was real. He had completely forgotten about it. How did Clara know? The fifth letter arrived on January 4, 2025. This one was different, more personal. My dearest Elon. You remember our first date at Mozart's Coffee Roasters on Lake Austin. You ordered a black coffee and I ordered a caramel latte. We sat outside even though it was chilly. You gave me your jacket. We talked for 4 hours. You told me about your dreams for Mars. I told you about saving the oceans. We were both trying to save the world, just in different ways. Go back there, my love. Tomorrow, January 5th, sit at our old table. Remember what it felt like when the world was full of possibility and our love was brand new. You need to remember how to feel joy again. Not just duty, not just responsibility. Joy. I'll be there with you in the memories. All my love. Clara. Now it was January 5 and Elon sat in his Tesla, parked outside Mozart's Coffee Roasters. The coffee shop looked exactly the same as it had 9 years ago. Same outdoor tables, same view of Lake Austin, same trees providing shade. It was 2:30 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon. The boys were with Mrs. Chen at a movie. Elon had 2 hours to himself. He got out of the car slowly. His heart felt heavy. Coming here hurt. Everything reminded him of Clara. Inside, he ordered a black coffee. The barista was young, maybe 20. She didn't recognize him, which was nice. He just wanted to be a man visiting a coffee shop, not Elon Musk the billionaire. He took his coffee outside to the patio. Their old table was empty, the one in the corner with the best view of the water. He sat down in the same chair he had sat in on October 30, 2016, their first date. The lake sparkled in the afternoon sun. A family of ducks swam past. Boats with colorful sails drifted in the distance. Austin was beautiful today. Elon closed his eyes and remembered. Clara sitting across from him, her red hair catching the sunlight, her green eyes full of intelligence and warmth, her laugh when he made a bad joke, her passion when she talked about ocean pollution. "You really think we can save the world?" he had asked her that day. "I think we have to try," Clara had answered. "What's the point of being alive if we don't try to make things better?" She had challenged him that day, pushed him to think bigger, care deeper, be more than just successful. She made him want to be good, not just great. "I miss you," Elon whispered now, opening his eyes. "I miss you so much it hurts." A tear rolled down his cheek. He didn't wipe it away. No one here knew him. He could cry if he wanted. But even in his grief, questions filled his mind. How did Clara know to send him here today? How did she know he needed this moment of remembering? Unless she had planned it all before she died. Unless she had somehow known what he would need and when. But how could anyone predict the future with such precision? Elon pulled out his phone and took a picture of the lake, the table, the view. Then he opened his notes app and started typing. Evidence. 5 letters, all with identical handwriting. All postmarked Austin, Texas. All containing accurate, specific information about family events. Paper and ink are common brands, according to handwriting expert James hired. No cameras or listening devices in-house. Letters mailed from public mailboxes, no security footage. Postal Service confirms normal processing. Possible explanations. Someone is spying on us, but how? Security sweep found nothing. Someone very close to family is writing them, but who knows Clara's handwriting perfectly? Clara wrote them before she died, but how did she predict future events? I'm losing my mind from grief, but the letters are real, others have seen them. None of the explanations made sense. All of them had problems. Elon needed help, real professional help. He made a phone call. Sarah Chen answered on the second ring. "Chen and Associates Investigations. How can I help you?" "Ms. Chen, my name is Elon Musk. I need to hire a private investigator." There was a brief pause. The Elon Musk. "Yes." "What kind of investigation are you looking for, Mr. Musk?" "It's complicated and private, very private. Can we meet in person?" "Of course, when works for you." "Today, now if possible." Another pause. "I can be available in an hour. My office is on West 6th Street in downtown Austin." "I'll be there." Sarah Chen's office was small but professional. She was in her early 40s with short black hair and sharp, intelligent eyes. She wore a simple gray suit and had 3 computer monitors on her desk. "Please, sit down, Mr. Musk," she said, gesturing to a chair. "Can I offer you coffee or water?" "No, thank you." Elon sat down and pulled out the 5 letters. "I need you to investigate these." Sarah took the letters carefully. She read the first one, then the second. Her eyebrows raised slightly. She read all 5 before speaking. "These are from your late wife?" she asked gently. "They appear to be, but she died 6 months ago, June 3, 2024. "I'm very sorry for your loss." Sarah's voice was kind. "Tell me everything." Elon explained it all. The first letter in California, the accurate predictions, the postmarks, the handwriting analysis, the security sweep of his house, everything. Sarah listened without interrupting. She took notes on a yellow legal pad. When Elon finished, she sat back in her chair and thought. "This is unusual," she said finally. "Very unusual, but not necessarily impossible." "What do you mean?" There are a few possibilities. First, someone who knew your wife very well could be writing these. Someone who has access to her old letters and can copy her handwriting. Someone who knows your family intimately. Who? Elon asked. I've thought about everyone, no one fits. Well, make a list. Family, close friends, employees who have been with you for years. Anyone who would know these details about your children. Sarah pulled out a fresh piece of paper. Let's start with family. Your wife had parents, siblings. Her parents live in Boulder, Colorado. Her father is a retired teacher. Her mother is a librarian. She had one brother, David. He's a doctor in Denver. They're good people, but none of them know about Marcus's school plays or Owen's fears. We don't talk that often. Sarah wrote down the names, close friends. Elon thought hard. Clara had friends from the university, other scientists, but she kept her work life and home life separate. Most of her friends never even came to our house. What about household staff, nannies, housekeepers? Mrs. Chen has been with us for 3 years. She's wonderful with the boys, but she's not. Elon struggled for words. She's not the type to do something like this. It would be cruel. Sometimes people surprise us, Sarah said gently. We'll check her background quietly, not accusing, just being thorough. They spent the next hour going through everyone in Elon's life. Business partners, old friends, extended family. The list grew longer, but no names felt right. There's another possibility, Sarah said. Your wife could have written these letters before she died, set up a system for them to be mailed. I've thought about that, Elon said. But how would she know about events that hadn't happened yet? Marcus's play was scheduled after she died. Owen's doctor appointment wasn't made until December. True, Sarah tapped her pen on the desk. Unless she made educated guesses, mothers often know their children's patterns. Maybe she predicted these needs. Maybe, Elon said doubtfully. There's one more option, Sarah said carefully. And I say this with respect, Mr. Musk. Grief does strange things to the mind. Is there any possibility these letters are not what they seem, that you're seeing patterns that aren't there? Elon had considered this. I'm not imagining them. My assistant David saw the second letter. My lawyer saw the photos. The postmarks are real. The letters are real. I believe you, Sarah said quickly. I just have to ask. She stood up and walked to her window, looking out at downtown Austin. Here's what I propose. I'll investigate 3 angles. First, I'll track down everyone who might have access to information about your family. Second, I'll dig into the postal trail where these letters are really coming from. Third, I'll search for any evidence that your wife prepared these before her death. How long will it take? Give me 1 week. I'll have preliminary findings by January 12th. Cost is not an issue, Elon said. Whatever you need. Sarah turned to face him. Mr. Musk, can I ask you something personal? Okay. What do you want the answer to be? Do you want these letters to be real, from your wife somehow? Or do you want a logical explanation? Elon was quiet for a long moment. I don't know. Part of me wants to believe she found a way to stay with us, but part of me knows that's impossible. Dead people don't send letters. Not usually, Sarah agreed. But love does strange things, powerful things. Let me investigate. We'll find the truth, whatever it is. Over the next week, Elon tried to focus on normal life. He took Owen to his doctor's appointment on January 6. Owen cried during the shots, but Elon held his hand through it all, just like Clara's letter had said to do. He attended Marcus's basketball practice. He helped with homework. He read bedtime stories. He was present. But at night, alone in his study, Elon researched everything he could about grief, hallucinations, and the psychology of loss. He read about people who received signs from dead loved ones. He read about scams that targeted grieving people. He read about the science of handwriting analysis. Nothing explained his letters. On January 10, another letter arrived, the 6th one. This letter was longer. It talked about the night Owen was born, July 15, 2020. How Elon had been so nervous he forgot to bring Clara's hospital bag. How they had laughed about it later. How perfect Owen had looked, tiny and red-faced and screaming. Remember the joy, my love, the letter said. Remember that life gives us beautiful moments even in hard times. More joy is coming, I promise. The letter ended with instructions. Go to Zilker Park on January 15th at sunset. Sit on the bench overlooking the lake. I have something to tell you. Elon read those words over and over, something to tell him, at Zilker Park in 5 days. His hands shook as he took a photo of the letter and sent it to Sarah Chen. She called him 10 minutes later. Mr. Musk, don't go alone, she said urgently. If someone is manipulating you, they might be dangerous. This could be a setup. I have to go, Elon said. I need to know. Then let me come with you. I'll stay out of sight, but I'll be nearby, just in case. Elon agreed. 5 more days until January 15. 5 more days until sunset at Zilker Park. 5 more days until maybe, possibly, he would finally understand what was happening. Outside his window, a cold January rain began to fall. Austin looked gray and quiet, and somewhere in the city, someone knew all of Clara's secrets. Someone was watching his family. Someone had answers, and in 5 days, Elon Musk would demand the truth. The days between January 10 and January 15 moved slowly. Elon felt like a prisoner waiting for his sentence. He went through the motions of normal life: morning coffee with the boys, driving Marcus to school, video calls about Tesla production numbers, dinner at home, bedtime stories, but his mind was always somewhere else. At Zilker Park, at sunset, on January 15. What would he find there? Who would he meet? Or would he find nothing at all, just an empty bench and his own foolish hope? Sarah Chen called him every day with updates. I've checked out Mrs. Chen, your nanny, Sarah said on January 11. She's clean, no suspicious activity, no unusual bank deposits. She seems exactly what she appears to be, a kind woman who cares about your boys. I didn't really think it was her, Elon admitted. I also interviewed some postal workers at the Lamar Boulevard location, Sarah continued. No one remembers seeing anyone suspicious mailing cream-colored envelopes. These letters are just blending in with regular mail. So we have nothing. Not nothing. I'm tracking a pattern. All 6 letters were mailed on Fridays or Saturdays, always from public mailboxes, never from inside a post office. Whoever is doing this is being careful. What about Clara's friends from the university? Elon asked. I've made contact with 3 of them. They all seemed genuinely shocked when I mentioned the letters. One woman, Dr. Patricia Alvarez, started crying. She said Clara was her best friend and she still can't believe she's gone. Elon felt a pang of guilt. He had been so focused on the mystery that he had forgotten other people missed Clara too. Keep investigating, he told Sarah. There has to be an answer. January 15, 2025 arrived cold and cloudy. The weather forecast said the temperature would drop to 45 degrees by evening, cold for Austin. Elon worked from home that day. He couldn't concentrate on anything. He answered emails without really reading them, approved documents without really thinking. His mind was at Zilker Park waiting. At 4:00 p.m., Mrs. Chen took Marcus and Owen to their swimming lessons at the local community center. They would be gone until 7:00 p.m. Elon was grateful. He didn't want the boys anywhere near whatever was about to happen. At 4:30 p.m., Sarah Chen called. I'm heading to the park now, she said. I'll position myself about 50 yards from the bench. I'll have a camera with a zoom lens. If anyone approaches you, I'll get photos. Thank you, Sarah. Mr. Musk, please be careful. If this person seems dangerous in any way, walk away. Your safety matters more than answers. I will. But Elon knew he wouldn't walk away. Not until he knew the truth. Zilker Park was one of Austin's most beautiful parks. It covered 350 acres along the Colorado River, with hiking trails, picnic areas, and stunning views of downtown Austin. Clara had loved this park. They had walked here dozens of times during their marriage. The bench mentioned in the letter was near the great lawn overlooking Lady Bird Lake. Elon had proposed to Clara near this spot in December 2016. He had gotten down on one knee right at sunset with the Austin skyline glowing behind them. She had said yes before he even finished asking. Now Elon walked the same path alone. The park was quiet on this cold Tuesday evening. A few joggers passed by. A man walked his dog, but mostly the park was empty. Elon reached the bench at 5:30 p.m. Sunset would be at 5:47 p.m. He had 17 minutes to wait. He sat down on the cold wooden bench. The view was exactly as he remembered, the lake spreading out before him, downtown Austin rising in the distance, the sky beginning to turn orange and pink. His heart pounded so hard he could hear it in his ears. What was he expecting? Clara to walk up and sit beside him. That was impossible. She was dead. He had buried her. But then, letters from dead wives were impossible too. The minutes ticked by. 5:35 p.m., 5:40 p.m. The sun sank lower. The sky turned beautiful shades of gold and purple. Other people in the park stopped to take photos of the sunset. 5:45 p.m., 2 minutes until sunset. Elon's phone buzzed. A text from Sarah, "I'm in position. No one suspicious in sight." 5:47 p.m., sunset. The sun touched the horizon. Orange light flooded across the lake. It was breathtaking, the kind of beauty that makes you remember why you're alive. But no one came. Elon waited. 5:50 p.m., 5:55 p.m. The sun disappeared completely. Twilight settled over the park. Streetlights began to turn on, still no one. Had he gotten the wrong bench, the wrong park, the wrong day? Elon stood up, disappointment crushing his chest. This was foolish. Dead people didn't send letters. Dead people didn't leave messages. He was chasing ghosts. Then he remembered the bench. He knelt down and looked underneath. Nothing, just dirt and old leaves. He ran his hand along the underside of the wooden seat. His fingers touched something, tape. Something taped to the bottom of the bench. His heart jumped. He pulled, and a small waterproof box came loose in his hand. It was about the size of a deck of cards wrapped in clear plastic. Elon's hands shook as he unwrapped it. Inside was another cream-colored envelope and a small USB flash drive. He opened the envelope. The letter was short. "My dearest Elon, if you found this, you followed my instructions. I'm so proud of you. The USB drive contains videos, 47 of them. I recorded them between January and May of 2024. Watch them when you're ready. Alone. They will explain everything. I love you. I've always loved you, and I always will. Clara." Elon stared at the letter. Videos, recorded before Clara died, between January and May 2024. His mind raced. If Clara recorded videos in early 2024, that was months before her death in June. Why would she do that unless she knew? Unless she somehow knew she was going to die. But that was impossible. The car accident was random. A drunk driver. How could she have predicted that? Elon looked around the park. It was nearly dark now. He could see Sarah Chen in the distance, standing near a tree with her camera. She gave him a small wave. "Are you okay?" He nodded and waved back. Then he grabbed the USB drive and ran to his car. Elon drove home too fast. He parked in his driveway and sat in the dark car, holding the USB drive. This small piece of plastic might contain all the answers, or it might contain nothing, just old videos that explain nothing. Only one way to find out. He went inside, locked the door to his study, and opened his laptop. His hands shook as he inserted the USB drive. The drive contained one folder, for Elon. Inside were 47 video files, each labeled with a date. The first one was dated January 15, 2024, exactly 1 year ago today. Elon's finger hovered over the play button. Once he watched this, everything might change. He might learn something he didn't want to know, but he had to know. He clicked play. Clara's face filled the screen. She sat in her home office, the same office where she had worked on her research. Behind her, Elon could see her bookshelves full of marine biology textbooks and the framed photo of their wedding day. Clara looked tired. There were dark circles under her eyes, but she smiled when she looked at the camera. "Hi, my love," she said softly. "If you're watching this, then I'm gone, and I'm so sorry." Elon's eyes filled with tears. "I need to tell you something I haven't been able to say in person," Clara continued. "In December 2023, I started having headaches, bad ones, and dizzy spells. I ignored them at first, but by early January, they got worse." She paused, taking a deep breath. "On January 10, 2024, I went to see a neurologist at Dell Seton Medical Center here in Austin, Dr. Raymond Chen. He ran tests, MRI scans, CT scans, all of it." Clara's smile faded. "On January 14, Dr. Chen called me with the results. I have an arteriovenous malformation. It's called an AVM. It's a tangle of abnormal blood vessels in my brain." Elon's heart stopped. An AVM, a brain condition. "The doctor said it could rupture at any time," Clara said, her voice steady despite the terrible words. It could be tomorrow, it could be in a year. They can't predict. If it ruptures, I'll die instantly, or I might survive but be severely disabled." She wiped a tear from her cheek. "They offered surgery, but the surgery has a 40% chance of leaving me paralyzed or brain damaged. Dr. Chen said I could live a normal life for months, maybe even a year, and then it could just end." Elon couldn't breathe. Clara had known. She had known she might die, and she never told him. "I decided not to tell you," Clara said, as if reading his mind. "And I know you're angry about that, but Elon, you had the Starship test flight coming up. You had so much pressure at work. I couldn't add this to your shoulders." She leaned closer to the camera. "So I made a choice. I decided to live every day fully, to love you and Marcus and Owen with everything I had, to make memories, to be present, and to prepare for what might happen." Clara held up a small notebook. "I started writing letters, hundreds of them, for you, for the boys, for the future. I dated each one. I wrote down everything I wanted to say for years to come. Birthdays, holidays, difficult moments, happy moments, all of it." Elon's hands covered his mouth. The letters. She had written all the letters before she died. "I know you're wondering how I knew what to write," Clara said. "I don't know the future, my love, but I know you. I know our boys. I know Marcus worries you don't love him when you're busy. I know Owen is scared of needles. I know you forget to eat when you're stressed." She smiled through her tears. "I made educated guesses. I looked at the school calendar and guessed when Marcus might have plays. I looked at Owen's vaccine schedule and knew when his appointments would be. I know how grief works. I know what you'll need to hear and when." The video was only 5 minutes long. It ended with Clara blowing a kiss to the camera. "I love you, Elon Musk. Watch the next video when you're ready. There's so much more I need to tell you." The screen went black. Elon sat in his study, tears streaming down his face. Clara had known. For 6 months before her death, she had lived with a ticking time bomb in her brain. And she had spent that time preparing to leave them, not running away, not falling apart, preparing them to survive without her. That was the woman he had married, strong, loving, selfless. Elon looked at the other 46 video files. More messages, more of Clara's voice, more explanations, but not tonight. Tonight, he needed to process what he had just learned. He pulled out his phone and called Sarah Chen. "Sarah, I found something. Videos. Clara recorded them before she died. She had a brain condition. She knew she might die." "Oh, Mr. Musk," Sarah said softly, "I'm so sorry. The letters aren't from beyond the grave. She wrote them all before she died. She planned everything." That's incredible. What a gift she gave you." "Yeah," Elon whispered. "Yeah, it is." After he hung up, Elon sat in the dark study for a long time. Outside, he could hear Mrs. Chen bringing Marcus and Owen home from swimming. Their voices floated through the house, talking about cannonballs and diving. Life continued. Even when your heart was breaking, life continued. Clara had understood that. She had prepared him for it. And now, through her videos and letters, she would continue to guide him, not from heaven or beyond death, but from the past, from the love she had left behind. Elon pulled out the latest letter and read it again. "More joy is coming, I promise." How could she promise that? How could she know? But Clara had always known things. She had known him better than he knew himself. Tomorrow, he would watch more videos. Tomorrow, he would learn the rest of her story. But tonight, Elon simply whispered to the empty room, "Thank you, Clara. Thank you for loving us enough to do this." And somewhere in memory and love, he felt her answer, always. Elon didn't sleep that night. He couldn't. After Marcus and Owen went to bed, he returned to his study and stared at the laptop screen. 46 more videos waited for him. 46 more messages from Clara. He wanted to watch them all at once. He wanted to hear her voice, see her face, learn everything she had left for him. But he was also afraid. Each video was a goodbye. Each one reminded him that she was really gone. At 11:37 p.m., he clicked on the second video, dated January 22, 2024. Clara appeared on screen again. She wore a blue sweater he remembered, her favorite one. "Hi again," she said with a small smile. "I know that first video was hard to watch. I'm sorry, but you needed to know the truth about my AVM." She adjusted the camera slightly. "Today I want to tell you about the letters. I've written 50 so far. I'm aiming for 300 total. That should last about 5 years if I space them out right." 300 letters, 5 years. Elon's chest tightened. I'm writing for every occasion I can think of, Clara continued. Your birthday, the boys' birthdays, Christmas, New Year's, random Tuesdays when you might need encouragement, first days of school, last days of school, everything. She held up several cream-colored envelopes. I bought 500 of these, and sunflower stickers for sealing them. Sunflowers because they always turn toward the light even on cloudy days. I want you to turn toward the light too, Elon, toward joy, toward life, even when I'm gone. Clara set the envelopes down. I'm writing letters for Marcus and Owen too, for when they're teenagers, for their high school graduations, for their first heartbreaks, for when they leave for college, for their weddings if they choose to get married. Tears rolled down Elon's cheeks. I won't be there for those moments, Clara said, her voice breaking slightly. But I can still be there in words. I can still tell them I'm proud. I can still give them advice. I can still love them. The video was 7 minutes long. At the end, Clara said, watch the next one tomorrow. Don't rush through all of these. Take your time. I'm not going anywhere now. Over the next week, Elon watched 2 or 3 videos each night after the boys went to sleep. Video 3, dated February 5, 2024, explained how Clara had found someone to help mail the letters. She didn't reveal who yet, just said, someone I trust completely, someone who loves our family. They've agreed to mail the letters on the dates I've written, on each envelope. Video 7, dated March 1, 2024, showed Clara recording messages for Marcus and Owen. I'm making separate videos for each boy, she explained. For their 13th birthdays, for when they turn 18, for their wedding days. I'm telling them about their baby years, about funny things they did, about how much I love them. Elon had to pause the video. The thought of Marcus and Owen watching their mother's messages years from now when they were teenagers or grown men was overwhelming. Video 12, dated March 18, 2024, was harder to watch. Clara looked more tired. The dark circles under her eyes were darker. She had lost weight. The headaches are getting worse, she admitted. Some days are really bad, but I'm still working on the letters, still planning. I've written 180 so far. She smiled weakly at the camera. Dr. Chen wants me to consider surgery again, but I've made my choice. I'd rather have a few good months with you and the boys than risk being paralyzed or losing who I am. Elon understood her choice now, but it still hurt. Video 17, dated April 2, 2024, showed Clara organizing everything. I've made spreadsheets, she said, holding up her laptop. Every letter is cataloged, date to be mailed, occasion, contents. The person helping me has a copy of everything. They'll know exactly when to mail each letter. She typed something on her laptop. I've also prepared packages for the boys, birthday presents I've bought in advance, a watch for Marcus when he turns 16, a compass for Owen when he turns 13 because he loves exploring, all sorts of things. Clara closed her laptop and looked directly at the camera. I know this seems crazy, planning my own death, preparing for a future I won't see, but Elon, this is how I cope. This is how I stay strong, by knowing that even when I'm gone, my love continues. On January 22, 2025, another letter arrived in the mail, the 7th one. This letter was different. It was longer, more detailed. It talked about the night Marcus was born, March 3, 2018, at Del Seaton Medical Center in Austin. You were so nervous, Clara wrote. You forgot my hospital bag. You forgot your phone charger. You forgot everything except me. And that was perfect. All I needed was you. The letter described Marcus's first cry, his tiny fingers, his beautiful eyes. Remember that night. Remember the miracle of new life. Remember that even in difficult times, miracles happen. Marcus is our miracle. Owen is our miracle. And you are my miracle, Elon. At the bottom of the letter, Clara had written, Video 25 will explain more. Watch it tonight. Elon went to his study that evening and found Video 25. Dated April 29, 2024. Clara looked different in this video. Thinner, more fragile, but her eyes were still bright. I have something important to tell you, she said. The person who's been helping me with the letters. The person who will mail them after I'm gone. I think it's time you know who they are. Elon leaned forward. Her name is Rebecca Torres, Dr. Rebecca Torres. She's been my best friend since we were 7 years old, growing up in Boulder, Colorado. Rebecca Torres. Elon knew that name. Clara had mentioned her best friend from childhood many times, but they had never met. Rebecca lived, where? Denver. No, Austin. Rebecca had moved to Austin several years ago. Rebecca is a counselor, Clara continued. She works with grief and loss. She understands what you'll be going through, and she loves our family. She's met Marcus and Owen a few times, though you were always traveling for work. Clara smiled sadly. I didn't tell you about Rebecca's visits because I wanted to keep my illness private, but Rebecca knows everything. She's been helping me write the letters, helping me organize the videos. She has a key to a storage unit where everything is kept. A storage unit. Elon's mind raced. Rebecca will contact you when the time is right, Clara said. Not immediately after I die. You'll need time to grieve on your own first, but eventually she'll reach out. She'll explain everything. She'll show you where all the letters and videos and presents are stored. Clara's voice grew softer. Rebecca is the kindest person I know. Trust her, Elon. She's doing this out of love for me and for you. And when you meet her, please thank her. This is a huge responsibility I've placed on her shoulders. The video ended. Elon sat back in his chair. Rebecca Torres, Clara's childhood friend, the mystery person behind the letters. He opened his laptop and searched for Rebecca Torres, counselor, Austin, Texas. Several results appeared. One stood out. Dr. Rebecca Torres, licensed professional counselor specializing in grief and loss, office on South Congress Avenue. There was a photo. A woman in her late 50s with kind eyes and graying brown hair. Elon stared at the photo. This woman had been mailing Clara's letters for months. This woman held the keys to all of Clara's secrets. Should he contact her, or wait for her to contact him like Clara had said? The decision was made for him the next morning. At 9:15 a.m. on January 23, 2025, Elon's phone rang. Unknown Austin number. Hello. Mr. Musk, this is Dr. Rebecca Torres. I'm a friend of Clara's. I think it's time we met. Elon's heart pounded. Yes, I'd like that. How about tomorrow? For lunch? There's a restaurant called Uche on South Lamar Boulevard. It was Clara's favorite. Uche, Elon remembered, Japanese sushi restaurant. Clara had loved their rolls. What time? He asked. Noon. I'll be there. Mr. Musk, I'm so sorry for your loss. Clara was the best person I've ever known. Thank you, Elon said quietly. And thank you for everything you've done. The letters, I know that must have been difficult. It's been an honor, Rebecca said softly. See you tomorrow. The next 24 hours felt endless. Elon tried to work but couldn't focus. He tried to play with Marcus and Owen, but his mind kept wandering. Tomorrow he would meet Rebecca Torres. Tomorrow he would learn everything. That night he watched video 31, dated May 15, 2024. Clara looked very sick in this video. Her face was pale. Her hands shook slightly, but she still smiled. I'm recording this just 3 weeks before. She paused. Before what might happen. The headaches are constant now. Dr. Chen says the AVM is growing. It could rupture any day. She took a shaky breath. I've finished all the letters, 307 total. I wrote more than I planned because I kept thinking of things I wanted to say. Rebecca has them all organized in the storage unit. They're labeled by year and occasion. Clara held up a small key on a chain. This is the key to the storage unit. Rebecca has one too. When you meet her, she'll give you your copy. Inside, you'll find everything. Letters, videos, presents for the boys, my journals from the past few years, everything. She set the key down. Elon, I need you to know something. The car accident, if that's how I die, won't be your fault. It won't be anyone's fault except maybe God's or fate's or random chance. Don't carry guilt. Tears streamed down Clara's face now. And please, don't stay frozen in grief forever. You're only 47 when I'm recording this. You have so much life ahead. The boys need a father who's present and whole, and someday your heart needs to open again. Elon shook his head. I can't, he whispered to the screen. I can't love anyone else. I'm not asking you to forget me, Clara said as if she heard him. I'm asking you to live fully, completely, the way we promised each other we would. Remember our wedding vows. I promised to live fully, love deeply, and never stop growing. You promised me, Elon. The video ended with Clara wiping her tears and smiling. I love you, I'll always love you, but my love doesn't trap you, it frees you, remember that. The next day, January 24, 2025, Elon arrived at a restaurant at 11:45 a.m. He was early nervous. The restaurant was beautiful, modern, and elegant with dark wood and soft lighting. It was lunchtime, but not too crowded yet. A hostess greeted him. Do you have a reservation? I'm meeting someone, Dr. Rebecca Torres. Oh yes, she just arrived, right this way. The hostess led Elon to a quiet table in the corner. And there, sitting calmly with a cup of green tea, was the woman from the photo. Dr. Rebecca Torres stood up when she saw him. She was shorter than he expected, maybe 5'4". She wore a simple gray dress and a silver necklace. Her eyes were warm and sad at the same time. Mr. Musk, she said, extending her hand. Thank you for coming. Please call me Elon. He shook her hand. Her grip was firm but gentle. They sat down. For a moment, neither spoke. The weight of Clara's absence hung between them. Finally, Rebecca said, I've been waiting for this day for 8 months. Clara made me promise not to contact you too soon. She said you'd need time to grieve alone first. But she also said that by January, you'd be ready for answers. She was right, Elon said. I'm ready. Rebecca pulled out a cream-colored envelope from her purse. She slid it across the table. This is from Clara. She wrote it specifically for today, for our first meeting. Elon's hand shook as he opened it. My dearest Elon, if you're reading this, you've met Rebecca. Finally, I wish I could be there to introduce you properly. Rebecca is my oldest friend, my best friend. She's known me since we were little girls climbing trees in Boulder. She knows everything about the letters, the videos, the storage unit. She's been carrying this secret for months, and I know it's been hard for her. Please be kind to her. She's doing this out of pure love. Listen to what she tells you. Trust her. She has your best interests at heart because that's what I asked her to promise. I love you. Always, Clara. Elon looked up at Rebecca. Her eyes were misty. Tell me everything, he said, from the beginning. And Rebecca Torres began to speak. Rebecca took a sip of her green tea before speaking. Her hands were steady, but Elon could see emotion in her eyes. Clara and I met when we were 7 years old, Rebecca began. First grade at Mountain View Elementary in Boulder, Colorado. We lived 3 houses apart on the same street. She smiled at the memory. We were inseparable. We climbed trees together. We rode bikes. We had sleepovers every weekend. When we were 12, we promised we'd be friends forever, and we were. Elon listened quietly. Clara had told him stories about her childhood friend Rebecca, but they had never met. He had always been too busy traveling. We went to different colleges, Rebecca continued. I went to University of Colorado. Clara went to Stanford in California to study marine biology, but we stayed close. Phone calls, letters, visits during holidays. The waiter came and took their orders. Neither of them was very hungry, but they ordered anyway. Sushi rolls that Clara used to love. When Clara moved to Austin in 2014 for her research position, I was in Denver working as a counselor, Rebecca said. We saw each other a few times a year. Then in 2021, I moved to Austin too. I wanted to be closer to her. She never mentioned that, Elon said. She tried to, Rebecca said gently. But you were launching Starship tests, building the Gigafactory, running Tesla and SpaceX. Clara said she could never find the right time to talk about her personal life. You were always so busy. The words stung, but they were true. I met Marcus when he was 3, Rebecca continued, and Owen when he was 1. I visited your house maybe 6 or 7 times, always when you were traveling. Clara and I would have coffee, the boys would play. It was nice, simple. Rebecca's voice grew softer. In December 2023, Clara called me. She said she was having terrible headaches. I told her to see a doctor immediately. She did, and that's when everything changed. Rebecca explained what happened next. How Clara got the diagnosis on January 14, 2024, arteriovenous malformation, a brain condition that could kill her at any moment. She called me that same day, Rebecca said. She was crying so hard I could barely understand her. I drove to your house immediately. You were in California for meetings. Rebecca's hands gripped her teacup tighter. Clara was terrified, not of dying, but of leaving you and the boys unprepared. She said she couldn't tell you about the AVM because you had too much stress already. The Starship program, The Tesla production problems, everything. She should have told me, Elon said, his voice tight. I told her that too, Rebecca said. But Clara was stubborn, you know how she was. Once she made a decision, she stuck with it. Elon knew Clara had always been strong-willed. She said she wanted to spend her remaining time, however long that was, living fully, Rebecca explained. No hospitals, no surgeries, no treatments, just life. Real, beautiful, normal life with her family. The sushi arrived. Neither of them touched it. And that's when she told me her plan, Rebecca said. She wanted to write letters, hundreds of them, for you, for Marcus, for Owen, for years into the future. She wanted to leave pieces of herself behind. And she asked you to mail them, Elon said. Yes, at first I thought she was crazy. How could I possibly do this? Mail letters after she died, it seemed impossible, cruel even. Why did you agree? Rebecca looked directly at Elon. Because Clara was my best friend and because she was right. Those letters would help you, they would keep her love alive. How could I say no to that? Rebecca explained the system they created. Every weekend from January through May 2024, she and Clara worked together. We spent Saturdays at my house, Rebecca said. Clara would bring the letters she'd written during the week. We'd organize them, date them, address them. Clara was so meticulous. Every detail mattered to her. She pulled out her phone and showed Elon a photo. It was Clara sitting at Rebecca's dining room table, surrounded by cream-colored envelopes. She was smiling, writing something. Elon's throat tightened. This photo was taken less than a year ago. Clara was alive, planning her own death, still smiling. She wrote 307 letters total, Rebecca said. For you, she wrote 215. The rest are for Marcus and Owen. 215. Elon could barely breathe. Enough to last 5 years if we space them out right. Some months you'll get several letters, some months just one. Clara planned it all based on what she thought you'd need and when. Rebecca swiped to another photo, a spreadsheet on Clara's laptop. This is her master schedule, Rebecca explained. Every letter is cataloged, date to be mailed, recipient, occasion, a brief note about the contents. She thought of everything. Elon stared at the spreadsheet, rows and rows of data. His wife had spent her final months creating an algorithm for love. I have a copy of this spreadsheet, Rebecca said. I check it every week. When a letter is scheduled to be mailed, I drive to a public mailbox and drop it in, usually on Friday evenings or Saturday mornings. That's why they're always postmarked weekends, Elon said, understanding now. Exactly. I work during the week, so weekends are easiest, and I vary which mailbox I use. Sometimes the one on Lamar Boulevard, sometimes near the Capitol, sometimes in different neighborhoods. Clara wanted the letters to seem random, not like they were all coming from one place. Their waiter checked on them. The sushi sat untouched. They ordered more tea. What about the videos? Elon asked. Clara recorded 47 of them. She recorded them alone, Rebecca said. In her home office while you were at work. She'd email them to me, and I'd save them on multiple USB drives. Backup copies in case anything got corrupted. The USB drive at Zilker Park, you put it there. Yes, Clara wrote very specific instructions. She wanted you to find it at sunset on January 15, 2025. She chose that date because it was exactly 1 year after her diagnosis. She thought the timing was meaningful. Elon remembered the video, Clara's face, her voice saying she had an AVM, the shock of learning she'd known she would die. Did she? Elon struggled with the question. Did she know she'd die in a car accident? Is that why she was ready? Rebecca shook her head. No, Clara thought she'd have months, maybe even a year. The doctors said the AVM could rupture anytime, but statistics suggested she had time. The car accident on June 3rd was unexpected, random, terrible luck. Or terrible unluckiness, Elon said bitterly. Clara would have said it was a blessing, Rebecca said softly. Quick, painless, better than months of declining health and hospital beds. She told me once that if she had to die, she'd rather go instantly. Elon closed his eyes. In a horrible way, Rebecca was right. The accident had spared Clara from suffering. After she died, Rebecca continued, I waited. Clara's instructions said to wait at least 3 months before mailing the first letter. She wanted you to begin the grieving process naturally. She didn't want the letters to interfere with that. So on December 15, you mailed the first one. Yes, to your SpaceX office in California, just like Clara specified. She knew you'd be there for meetings that week. Everything made sense now. The mystery was solved. No supernatural forces, no impossible magic, just a woman who loved her family so much that she planned for a future she wouldn't see. There's more, Rebecca said. Much more. The letters are just the beginning. She reached into her purse and pulled out a small silver key on a chain. This is for you, she said, sliding it across the table. It opens storage unit 247 at Austin Storage Solutions on Ben White Boulevard. That's where everything else is kept. Everything else. Birthday presents for Marcus and Owen, bought and wrapped in advance. Clara shopped for years' worth of gifts. Watches, books, sports equipment, everything. Each present is labeled with the child's name and the year it should be given. Elon couldn't speak. There are also videos for the boys, Rebecca continued. Separate messages for Marcus and Owen, for their 13th birthdays, for when they turn 16, for when they graduate high school, for their 18th birthdays, for their 21st birthdays, for their wedding days if they choose to get married. Wedding days, Elon whispered. They're 7 and 5. Clara was thinking ahead, way ahead. She wanted to be part of their lives forever, even if she couldn't be there physically. Rebecca pulled out a tissue and dabbed her eyes. There are also letters for you that won't be mailed for years. Letters for difficult times Clara predicted you might face. Letters for when Marcus and Owen leave for college. Letters for when they have children of their own, your grandchildren. Grandchildren, Elon repeated. The word felt impossible. Clara thought of everything, Rebecca said. In that storage unit, there's a file cabinet with folders organized by year. Inside each folder are letters waiting to be mailed. My job is to follow the schedule. Mail the right letters at the right times. She looked at Elon seriously. This is a 20-year project, Mr. Musk. Clara's last letter is scheduled to be mailed in 2044. You'll be 63 years old. Marcus will be 26. Owen will be 24. 20 years. 2 decades of letters from a woman who would never grow older. I know this is overwhelming, Rebecca said gently. Clara knew it would be. That's why she asked me to meet with you now, 8 months after her death. She thought you'd be ready to understand by now. I don't know if I'll ever understand, Elon admitted. It's incredible and heartbreaking and beautiful, all at the same time. That's exactly what Clara hoped you'd feel. They sat in silence for a moment. Around them, other diners ate and laughed, normal people having normal lunches. They had no idea that at this quiet corner table, a man was learning that his dead wife had created a 20-year love letter. Can I see the storage unit? Elon asked. Today. Of course, I was hoping you'd ask. Clara wanted you to see everything once you were ready. They left the restaurant without eating much. Elon paid the bill and followed Rebecca's car across Austin to Ben White Boulevard. Austin Storage Solutions was a large facility with hundreds of orange garage-style doors. Rebecca parked near Building C and led Elon to Unit 247. She unlocked it and rolled up the door. Inside was a small, climate-controlled room about 10 feet by 10 feet. Metal shelves lined 3 walls. Everything was organized with military precision. Clara was very specific about the climate control, Rebecca explained. She wanted to make sure the letters and videos wouldn't degrade over time. Elon stepped inside. The shelves were filled with clear plastic boxes, each one labeled. Letters for Elon 2025, letters for Elon 2026, letters for Elon 2027. The labels continued through 2044. On another shelf, Marcus' birthday presents with sublabels for ages 8, 9, 10, all the way to 25. Owen birthday presents with the same system. On a third shelf, videos Marcus and videos Owen with USB drives in protective cases. And in the back corner, a large filing cabinet with drawers labeled by year. Elon walked slowly through the unit, touching the boxes gently. Clara had done all of this. She had bought presents. Written letters, recorded videos, organized everything. She had created an instruction manual for living without her. How much time did she spend on this? Elon asked. Every spare moment from January to May, Rebecca said. When you were at work, she was writing. When the boys were at school, she was shopping for presents. She worked on this project constantly. I had no idea. She didn't want you to know. She wanted you to discover it after she was gone, so you wouldn't try to stop her. Elon opened one of the boxes labeled Letters for Elon 2025. Inside were dozens of cream-colored envelopes, each with a date written in the corner. He recognized Clara's handwriting. February 14, 2025, Valentine's Day, March 3, 2025, Marcus's 7th birthday, April 10, 2025, our wedding anniversary, July 15, 2025, Owen's 5th birthday. On and on, every important date, every holiday, every moment Clara knew would be hard. Take anything you want, Rebecca said, but I should keep most of it here. That way the schedule stays organized. I understand, Elon said. He opened the box labeled Marcus Birthday Presents Age 8. Inside was a wrapped present with a card attached. The card read, "To Marcus for your 8th birthday. I'm so proud of the boy you're becoming. Love, Mom." Marcus would turn 8 on March 3, 2025. In just over a month, Elon carefully closed the box. He couldn't look at any more, it was too much. "Clara left one more thing for you," Rebecca said. She walked to the filing cabinet and pulled out a large manila envelope from the top drawer. "This is for you to take home. Open it when you're ready." Elon took the envelope. It was thick and heavy. His name was written on the front in Clara's handwriting. "What's inside?" "I don't know," Rebecca said. "Clara sealed it and asked me to give it to you today. She said you'd know when to open it." They locked up the storage unit and walked back to their cars. "Thank you, Rebecca," Elon said. "Thank you for doing this. I know it must be difficult." "It's the hardest thing I've ever done," Rebecca admitted. "Every time I mail a letter, I cry. Every time I think about Clara, I miss her. But this is my gift to her, my way of honoring our friendship." She chose the right person. Rebecca smiled sadly. "She was my best friend for 35 years. How could I say no?" They stood in the parking lot under the gray January sky, two people connected by love for the same woman. "Can I ask you something?" Elon said. "Anything." The letters mentioned things Clara couldn't have predicted, like Marcus asking if I still loved him, like Owen's questions about heaven. How did she know? Rebecca thought for a moment. Clara understood grief. She understood children. She knew that Marcus would feel neglected when you threw yourself into work. She knew Owen would ask about death and heaven. She didn't predict specific moments. She predicted patterns. But she was so accurate. That's because she knew you, Elon. She knew your family. She knew how you'd react to loss. And she used that knowledge to write letters that would feel perfectly timed. It made sense. Clara had always understood people better than anyone else. "One more question," Elon said. "You mentioned letters that won't be mailed for years, letters for when the boys are grown. What if? What if something happens to you? What if you can't fulfill this responsibility?" Rebecca had clearly thought about this. "I'm 58 years old. If I live a normal lifespan, I'll be 78 when the last letter is mailed in 2044. That's possible but not guaranteed. So Clara and I set up a backup plan." "What kind of backup plan?" "I have a nephew, David Torres. He's 32, lives in Austin, works as an accountant. He knows about the letters and the storage unit. If anything happens to me, he'll take over the mailing schedule. And if anything happens to him, there's a third person, my sister in Colorado. We have a chain of responsibility." Clara had thought of everything, absolutely everything. "I'll check on you regularly," Rebecca said. "Maybe once a month we can have coffee. I can answer questions. I can tell you stories about Clara from when we were kids. Whatever helps." "I'd like that," Elon said sincerely. They said goodbye and Elon drove home with the manila envelope on the passenger seat. Inside, it felt like his whole world had shifted. The mystery was solved, but the wonder remained. Clara had loved him enough to plan for 20 years beyond her death. That night, after Marcus and Owen were asleep, Elon sat in his study and opened the manila envelope. Inside was a letter, not a short one, but 5 pages long and a small box. Elon read the letter first. "My dearest Elon, if you're reading this, you've met Rebecca and visited the storage unit. You know everything now. The AVM, the letters, the presents, the videos, all of it. I imagine you're feeling overwhelmed. Maybe angry that I kept secrets. Maybe sad all over again. Maybe grateful, probably all of those things at once. I need you to understand why I did this. The letter continued for 5 pages. Clara explained her reasoning, her fears, her hopes. She wrote about her love for Elon and the boys. She wrote about not wanting to be forgotten. And at the end, she wrote something that made Elon's heart ache. I don't want you to be alone forever, my love. The letters aren't meant to trap you in the past. They're meant to help you through the transition. In a few years, when your heart is ready, I want you to open it again, to love again, to find joy again. Please don't feel guilty about that. My greatest hope is that you'll find happiness after I'm gone. You deserve it. The boys deserve a father who's whole and happy, not broken and haunted. I love you forever, but forever doesn't mean you stop living. Always yours, Clara. Elon wiped his eyes and opened the small box. Inside was Clara's wedding ring, the simple gold band she had worn every day of their marriage, the ring he had placed on her finger on April 10, 2017 in Big Sur. Attached was a note, "Keep this safe. When you're ready to love again, you'll know what to do with it." Elon held the ring in his palm. It was warm, as if Clara had just taken it off. And for the first time since June 3, 2024, Elon felt something other than grief. He felt hope. 6 months later, on July 15, 2025, Owen turned 6 years old. The morning started with pancakes, chocolate chip, Owen's favorite. Marcus helped Elon flip them while Owen sat at the kitchen table, still in his astronaut pajamas, practically vibrating with excitement. "When do I get presents?" Owen asked for the 10th time. "After breakfast," Elon said, smiling, "just like every birthday." "But I'm 6 now, Daddy. That's practically a grown-up." Marcus laughed. "You're not a grown-up. You still sleep with your stuffed astronaut." "So, astronauts are cool." Elon looked at his boys and felt his heart swell. They were laughing, teasing each other like brothers do, living. It had been over a year since Clara died, 13 months of grief and healing, 13 months of letters arriving like clockwork, guiding Elon through the darkest times. Since meeting Rebecca in January, Elon had received 12 more letters, each one perfectly timed, each one saying exactly what he needed to hear. On Valentine's Day, a letter about their first kiss. On Marcus's 8th birthday in March, a letter reminding Elon to make Marcus feel special even when Owen got jealous. On their wedding anniversary in April, a letter about the promises they'd made to each other. Each letter hurt, but each letter also helped. After breakfast, they moved to the living room for presents. Mrs. Chen had decorated with blue and silver balloons, Owen's favorite colors. She had baked a rocket-shaped cake that sat proudly on the table. "Okay, presents time," Owen shouted. Elon brought out the wrapped gifts, 3 from him, 1 from Marcus, 1 from Mrs. Chen, and 1 wrapped in silver paper with a blue bow from the storage unit from Clara. Elon had driven to the storage unit yesterday with Rebecca. She had helped him find the right box and select Owen's present. The card attached said, "To Owen on your 6th birthday. I love you to the moon and back, Mom." Owen opened his other presents first. A new bicycle from Elon, a Lego space station from Marcus, books about planets from Mrs. Chen. He was thrilled with everything. Then he picked up the silver-wrapped present. He looked at the card. "This is from Mommy," he said quietly. The room went silent. Marcus stopped playing with his own toys. Mrs. Chen paused while cutting the cake. Everyone waited. "Mommy bought this before she went to heaven," Elon explained gently. "She wanted you to have it on your 6th birthday." Owen carefully removed the wrapping paper. Inside was a brass compass with Owen's name engraved on the back, and a note. Elon read it aloud. "Dear Owen, this compass will help you find your way. When you're older, you'll go on adventures. You'll explore new places. This compass will always point you home. Love, Mommy." Owen held the compass carefully, turning it in his small hands. The needle spun and settled, pointing north. "It works," Owen whispered. "It does," Elon said. "Mommy knew I like exploring." "She did. She knew you very well." Owen looked up at his father. "Does Mommy send you presents too?" "She sends me letters. They help me remember her." "That's nice," Owen said. Then, in the way only a 6-year-old can, he moved on. "Can we have cake now?" They ate cake and played games. It was a good day, a happy day. Clara would have loved it. That evening, after the boys were asleep, another letter arrived. This one was unexpected, not on the schedule Rebecca had shown him. Elon opened it in his study. My dearest Elon, today Owen turned 6. I hope his day was wonderful. I hope you remembered the cake. I hope he loved the compass. I'm writing this on May 20, 2024, just 2 weeks before I die. I don't know that, of course. I think I have months left. But just in case, I want to make sure I tell you some important things. First, you're an incredible father. I know you don't always believe that. I know you think you work too much, miss too many bedtimes, forget too many school events. But Elon, you try. You love those boys with your whole heart. That's what matters. Second, it's okay to be happy. I know you've been grieving for over a year now. That's healthy and normal. But at some point, maybe soon, maybe not yet, you're going to laugh at something and then feel guilty for laughing. Don't. Happiness doesn't dishonor my memory. Happiness honors the life we built together. Clara's words hit him hard. She was right. Just yesterday, Marcus had told a silly joke at dinner, and Elon had laughed, really laughed for the first time in months. And immediately after, he felt guilty, as if laughing meant he was forgetting Clara. The letter continued. Third, the boys are watching you. They're learning how to handle grief by watching how you handle it. Show them that it's okay to be sad. Show them that it's also okay to heal. Show them that love doesn't end with death, it transforms. Fourth, Rebecca is a gift. She's carrying a heavy burden for us. Check on her. Make sure she's okay. This project I've asked her to complete is enormous. She needs support too. Fifth, and most important, you deserve to love again someday. I know that seems impossible right now. It should seem impossible. You loved me and I died. That's traumatic. But Elon, you're only 48 years old when I'm writing this. You could live another 40 years. Please don't spend all those years alone. I'm not saying rush into anything. I'm not saying forget me. I'm saying that when your heart is ready in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, it's okay to open it again. I'll always be your wife, the mother of Marcus and Owen, the woman you built a life with. Nothing changes that. But you can have more than one chapter in your life. This chapter with me is ending. Someday, a new chapter can begin. I love you, Elon Musk. I'll love you forever. And because I love you, I want you to be happy. All my love, Clara. Elon read the letter 3 times. Clara was giving him permission to heal, permission to move forward, permission to eventually love again. He wasn't ready for that yet. The thought of dating, of touching someone else, of sharing his life with anyone but Clara, it felt impossible. But maybe someday. Clara thought he could. Maybe she was right. August 2025 brought new challenges. Marcus started 3rd grade and struggled with reading. His teacher, Mrs. Williams, called Elon for a conference. Marcus is a bright boy, Mrs. Williams said, but he's behind in reading comprehension. I think he might have dyslexia. I'd like to get him tested. Elon felt panic rise in his chest. Dyslexia, learning disability. Marcus would struggle. How could Elon help him with this? That night, a letter arrived. Of course it did. Clara always knew. My dearest Elon, if you're reading this, Marcus is having trouble in school. I predicted this might happen around 3rd grade. The reading gets harder and Marcus processes things differently. Don't panic. This doesn't mean he's not smart. Einstein had learning differences. So did many brilliant people. Marcus's brain just works in its own unique way. Get him tested. If he has dyslexia, get him support, special reading programs, extra time on tests, whatever he needs. And most importantly, tell him that struggling with reading doesn't make him less smart. Tell him his mother struggled with math as a child and look how I turned out, a scientist. Marcus needs to know you believe in him. He needs to know that different doesn't mean broken. You've got this, my love. Clara. Elon had Marcus tested. The results came back positive for dyslexia. But instead of being devastated, Elon was prepared. He hired a reading specialist. He got Marcus into a special program at school. He spent 30 minutes every evening practicing reading with Marcus, patient and encouraging. It's hard, Daddy, Marcus said one night, frustrated with a chapter book. I know, buddy, but hard doesn't mean impossible. Your brain is amazing. It just works differently. And that's okay. Mommy thought so too. Mommy knew so. She was always right about these things. Marcus smiled and kept reading. October brought Halloween. The boys were excited for weeks. Marcus wanted to be an astronaut. Owen wanted to be a rocket ship. How do you be a rocket ship? Owen asked. We'll figure it out, Elon promised. They made costumes together. Marcus's was easy, a white jumpsuit with a NASA patch. Owen's required creativity. They built a cardboard rocket that Owen could wear, painted silver with red flames at the bottom. On Halloween night, they trick-or-treated around their Austin neighborhood. Marcus and Owen ran from house to house, their bags filling with candy. Elon walked behind them, taking photos on his phone. At one point, Marcus ran back to him. "Daddy, look, I got a full-size candy bar." "That's awesome, buddy." Marcus hugged him quickly, then ran back to Owen. Elon stood there on the sidewalk watching his boys laugh and play, and he felt it again. Hope, joy, life moving forward. Clara was right. Happiness didn't dishonor her memory. Happiness honored the life she'd built for them. When they got home that night, there was a letter in the mailbox. "My dearest Elon. Happy Halloween. I hope the boys had fun. I hope their costumes turned out well. I hope you let them eat too much candy and stayed up too late. These are the moments that matter, not the business deals, not the rocket launches, not the money or the fame. These small, ordinary moments of joy with your children, these are what life is actually about. I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of the father you've become. I'm proud that you're healing. I'm proud that you're living. Keep going, my love. The best is yet to come." Clara. By December 2025, 18 months had passed since Clara's death. Christmas approached, and Elon felt ready to make it special. He bought a real Christmas tree, a huge one that barely fit in their living room. They decorated it together, Marcus and Owen hanging ornaments while Elon untangled lights. "Mommy loved Christmas," Marcus said, hanging a silver snowflake. "She did," Elon agreed. "What was her favorite part?" "The cookies. She always made sugar cookies shaped like stars." "Should we make some this year?" Marcus's eyes lit up. "Really? Really? We'll make them together." They made cookies, lumpy, oddly shaped, overfrosted cookies that would have made Clara laugh. But they made them, and they were delicious. On Christmas Eve, Rebecca came over for dinner. She had become part of their family now, visiting once a month, sharing stories about Clara's childhood. The boys loved her. "Tell us about when Mommy was little," Owen begged. Rebecca smiled. "Well, when your mommy was 7, Marcus's 8, she decided she wanted to save all the frogs in our neighborhood pond. She thought they looked sad." "What did she do?" Marcus asked. "She tried to catch them and bring them home. She caught 12 frogs and put them in a bucket in her backyard. Her mother was not happy." The boys giggled. Elon smiled. These stories kept Clara alive in a different way, not as grief but as memory, as love. That night, after Rebecca left and the boys were asleep, Elon found another letter in his mailbox. "My dearest Elon. Merry Christmas. This is your second Christmas without me. I hope it was better than the first one. I hope the house feels less empty. I hope you're finding joy again. I have a request. In the storage unit in the box labeled Christmas 2025, there's a present for you. Ask Rebecca to help you find it. Open it on Christmas morning. Trust me. All my love, Clara." Christmas morning, after the boys opened their presents and the living room was covered in wrapping paper, Elon excused himself. He drove to the storage unit where Rebecca was waiting. She had the key and had already found the box. "Merry Christmas," she said, handing him a wrapped package. "You knew about this." "Clara told me. She said you'd need it this year." Elon opened the package in his car. Inside was a leather-bound journal. The first page had Clara's handwriting. "Dearest Elon, this is a journal for moving forward. For the past 18 months, my letters have helped you look back. Remember me, remember us, remember what we had. Now it's time to also look forward. Use this journal to write your own story. Write about Marcus and Owen. Write about your work. Write about your feelings. Write about your future. You don't have to stop reading my letters. They'll keep coming. But you also need to write your own words now. Your own chapters. It's time, my love. Time to live your life, not just remember mine. I love you, always and forever, Clara." Elon held the journal and cried. Good tears this time, healing tears. Clara was right, it was time. That night he wrote his first entry. December 25, 2025. Today was a good Christmas. The boys were happy. The house felt warm. I felt, okay, better than okay, I felt alive. I still miss Clara every day. I still read her letters and cry sometimes, but I'm also living, really living. Marcus is doing better with his reading. Owen is growing so fast. I'm learning to be present, to be the father Clara always believed I could be. And maybe someday I'll be ready for more, for new chapters, for new love. Not yet, but someday. Thank you, Clara, for everything, for the letters, for the love. for teaching me how to live even after you're gone." Elon closed the journal and looked out his window at the Texas night. Stars filled the sky, bright and endless. Clara was up there somewhere in memory and love. And here on Earth, life continued, beautiful, painful, full of possibility. The letters would keep coming. Clara's love would keep guiding him. But now, Elon was also writing his own story, and it was a story worth living. December 26, 2030. Elon stood in his backyard in Austin, watching Marcus and Owen play basketball. Marcus was 12 now, almost as tall as Elon's shoulder. Owen was 10, still small but quick and competitive. "That's a foul," Owen shouted. "Was not," Marcus argued back. "Was too, you pushed me." Elon smiled. Some things never changed. Brothers would always be brothers. 5 years had passed since that first letter arrived in December 2024. 5 years of healing, 5 years of growing, 5 years of living. The letters still came. Not as frequently now, Clara had spaced them out more as the years went on, but they came. Birthday letters, holiday letters, random Tuesday letters when Elon needed encouragement. Each one still made him cry. Each one still made him grateful. Inside the house, someone was making coffee. Elon could smell it from the backyard. "Boys, come inside," he called. "Breakfast is almost ready." Marcus and Owen ran toward the house, still arguing about the foul. They burst through the back door, bringing cold December air with them. In the kitchen, a woman stood at the stove making pancakes. She was 39 years old with dark hair and warm brown eyes. Her name was Dr. Maya Rodriguez, and she was a pediatrician at Dell Children's Medical Center. Elon had met her 2 years ago in December 2028 at a charity event for children's hospitals. She had been funny and smart and kind. She didn't care that he was Elon Musk. She cared about helping sick kids. They had talked for 3 hours that night, about medicine and space exploration and parenting, about loss. Maya's husband had died of cancer 4 years earlier, about moving forward while honoring the past. They went on their first date in January 2029, slowly, carefully, both of them carrying grief but also ready to try again. Elon had felt guilty at first. Even though Clara's letters had told him it was okay to love again, even though 5 years had passed, it still felt like betrayal. But then a letter arrived. Dated February 14, 2029, Valentine's Day. "My dearest Elon, reading this, 5 years have passed since I died. 5 years is a long time. The boys are older now, you're older. Life has continued without me. I hope by now you've opened your heart again. I hope you found someone who makes you smile, someone who makes you want to wake up in the morning, someone who loves Marcus and Owen and treats them with kindness. If you have, I want you to know I'm happy for you, truly, completely happy. That's not what ghosts say in stories, I know, but I'm not a ghost. I'm just your wife who loved you enough to let you go. Love her, Elon. Love her the way you loved me, fully, deeply, without reservation. She deserves that. You deserve that. The boys deserve to see their father happy. And know this, loving her doesn't mean you love me less. The heart doesn't work that way. Love multiplies, it doesn't divide. I'll always be your first love, she'll be your second. Both can be true, both can be beautiful. Be happy, my darling. That's all I ever wanted for you. All my love forever, Clara." Elon had shown the letter to Maya. She had cried reading it. "She really loved you," Maya had said. "She did. I'll never try to replace her. I want you to know that." "I know, and she wouldn't want you to. She'd want you to be yourself." They had gotten engaged in June 2030. A simple proposal during a walk around Lady Bird Lake, the same lake where Elon and Clara used to walk. Maya understood the significance. She didn't mind. She respected Clara's memory. They had gotten married in September 2030. A small ceremony at Zilker Park with Marcus and Owen as ring bearers. Rebecca was there, crying happy tears. Clara's parents came from Colorado and hugged Maya, telling her they were grateful Elon had found love again. It had been beautiful, different from Elon's wedding to Clara, but beautiful in its own way. Now 3 months later, they were a family, not a replacement family, a new version, a blended family trying to figure things out. "Pancakes are ready," Maya called. Marcus and Owen raced to the table. Elon followed more slowly, taking in the scene, his boys, his new wife, his life moving forward. "Dad," Marcus said through a mouthful of pancake, "don't forget I have my robotics competition next week." "I won't forget," Elon promised. Marcus had joined the robotics club at school this year. He was brilliant with engineering despite his dyslexia. Different strengths, Clara had always said. And I have my piano recital on Sunday, Owen added. Owen had started piano lessons last year and discovered he loved music. I'll be at both, Elon said. I promise. And he would be. These days, Elon worked less. He delegated more. He had learned, slowly and painfully, that success meant nothing if you missed your children's lives. Clara had taught him that. Through hundreds of letters over 6 years, she had taught him to be present. After breakfast, Elon went to his study. The mailman had just delivered today's mail. And there, among the bills and junk mail, was a cream-colored envelope. His heart still jumped when he saw them, even after 6 years. He opened it carefully. My dearest Elon, if you're reading this on December 26, 2030, then Marcus just turned 12 and Owen is 10. My babies are growing up. I wish I could see them. I hope Marcus is doing well in school. I hope someone helped him with his reading challenges. I hope Owen found something he loves, maybe music or art or sports. I hope they're happy. And I hope you're happy too. If everything went according to plan, you found love again. You're building a new life. And I hope you're not feeling guilty about that. You've done everything I asked. You've been present for the boys. You've kept my memory alive. You've honored our love, but you've also moved forward. That takes courage, Elon. I'm so proud of you. The letter continued for 2 more pages. Clara wrote about specific memories, Marcus as a baby, Owen learning to walk, family vacations to the Texas coast. She wrote about her hopes for the boys' futures. She wrote about love and loss and the passage of time. At the end, she wrote, "This is one of my last letters to you. Not the very last. I have a few more scheduled over the next 14 years, but the frequency will drop now. You don't need me guiding you anymore. You've learned to guide yourself. Keep the boys close. Keep making memories. Keep living fully. And one more thing, in the storage unit there's a box labeled for Elon final gift. Don't open it until Marcus turns 18 in 2036. Rebecca knows about it. When the time comes, she'll help you find it. Until then, my love, live well, love well, be well. I'm always with you in memory and love. Clara." Elon folded the letter carefully and added it to the collection he kept in his desk drawer. 147 letters over 6 years, each one a treasure. That afternoon, Rebecca came over for her monthly visit. She was 65 now, retired from counseling but still sharp and energetic. She had become like a grandmother to Marcus and Owen. "How are you doing?" she asked Elon while the boys played video games in the living room. "Good," Elon said. "Really good, actually. Got a letter today." "I know, I mailed it on Friday," Rebecca smiled. "Did it mention the final gift?" "It did. What is it?" "I don't know. Clara never told me. She just said it was for you when Marcus turns 18. She made me promise not to look." "That's 6 years away." Clara thought of everything, even things that far in the future. They sat quietly for a moment, watching Marcus and Owen argue over the video game. "Do you ever wish?" Elon started, then stopped. "Wish what?" Rebecca prompted. "Wish she could see this, see the boys growing up, see that I'm okay now." Rebecca smiled gently. "I think she knew. That's why she did all of this. She knew exactly how things would unfold. She knew you'd struggle and then heal. She knew you'd find love again. She planned for all of it. She was always smarter than me." "She was pretty smart," Rebecca agreed. "But so are you. You figured out how to live after losing her. That's not easy." Maya came outside with coffee for everyone. She sat down next to Elon and took his hand. "What are we talking about?" she asked. "Clara," Elon said simply. Maya didn't flinch. She never did when they talked about Clara. She must have been an amazing woman. "She was," Rebecca said. "But she'd like you, Maya. She'd appreciate how you love these boys, how you love Elon without trying to erase her memory." "I could never erase her," Maya said. "She's part of this family, part of Elon's story, part of the boys' story. I'm just the next chapter." Elon squeezed her hand. That was exactly right. Maya wasn't a replacement, she was a continuation. A new chapter in a story that had been torn apart by tragedy but had slowly, carefully been rewritten. That night, after everyone had gone home and the boys were asleep, Elon and Maya sat on their back porch. The December air was cold but not freezing. Stars filled the Texas sky. "Do you think about her a lot?" Maya asked quietly. "Every day," Elon admitted, "but not in a sad way anymore. More like gratitude. She gave me so much. The boys, 8 years of marriage, and these letters that helped me survive losing her." "The letters were genius," Maya said. I've never heard of anyone doing something like that. She knew I'd fall apart without guidance. She knew I'd work myself to death and neglect the boys. So she found a way to keep coaching me, even after she was gone. Do you think she'd approve of us? Elon thought about that letter from February 2029. Clara's words, "Love her the way you loved me, fully, deeply, without reservation." Yes, he said, she'd approve. She'd be happy I found you. Maya rested her head on his shoulder. I'm grateful for her too, you know. She raised Marcus and Owen for their early years. She shaped who they are. And she loved you enough to let you go. That's a gift she gave me. They sat together in comfortable silence, watching the stars. Somewhere up there, in memory and love, Clara was watching too, proud, grateful, at peace. Her letters had done their job. They had guided Elon through the darkest valley of his life. They had taught him to be present, to prioritize his children, to open his heart again. And they would continue coming, less frequently now, but still arriving on important dates. Reminders that love doesn't end with death. It transforms. It multiplies. It endures. 6 years later, March 3, 2036. Marcus's 18th birthday fell on a Tuesday. He was graduating high school in 3 months and had been accepted to MIT for engineering. He looked so much like Clara now. The same eyes, the same determined chin, the same quick intelligence. The birthday party was simple, close friends and family. Rebecca was there, now 71 but still energetic. Maya had made Marcus's favorite cake, chocolate with raspberry filling. After everyone left, Elon gave Marcus his final present. A USB drive. What's this? Marcus asked. A video from your mom. She recorded it before she died. She wanted you to watch it on your 18th birthday. Marcus held the drive carefully. I was 7 when she died. I barely remember her voice. This will help, Elon said gently. That night Marcus watched the video in his room. Elon didn't watch it with him. This was between Marcus and Clara. But later, Marcus came to Elon's study with tears streaming down his face. She was so proud of me, Marcus said. She talked about when I was a baby. She told me stories I'd never heard, she said. His voice broke. She said she'd always love me even though she couldn't be there. Elon hugged his son. She did love you so much. I wish I remembered her better. That's what the videos and letters are for, to help you remember. Owen would get his video in 2 years on his 18th birthday in 2038. Clara had thought of everything all the way to the end. Later that night, Elon remembered the final gift, the one Clara had mentioned in her letter back in 2030, the one in the storage unit. He called Rebecca. I think it's time, he said. Marcus is 18. Clara said there was a final gift. I know exactly where it is, Rebecca said. Meet me at the storage unit tomorrow. The next day, Elon and Rebecca stood in the climate-controlled storage unit. Most of the shelves were empty now. The letters had been mailed, the presents given. Only a few boxes remained for Owen's future milestones. Rebecca pulled out a large wooden box from the back corner. It was locked with a combination lock. Clara gave me the combination in a sealed envelope, Rebecca said. I was only supposed to open it when Marcus turned 18. She opened the envelope and entered the numbers, 41017, their wedding date. The lock clicked open. Inside the box were several items. A leather-bound book, handwritten by Clara. A small velvet box. A sealed letter addressed to Elon. 2 sealed letters addressed to Marcus and Owen, labeled to be opened when you become a father. Elon picked up the letter addressed to him. His hands shook. My dearest Elon, if you're reading this, 18 years have passed since I wrote it. Marcus is a man now. Owen is 16. You're 65 years old. I'm frozen at 41 forever. Time is strange that way, isn't it? This is my last letter to you, the final gift, the end of my project. For 18 years, I've been guiding you from beyond the grave, helping you raise our boys, helping you heal, helping you live. But now it's time for me to let go completely. You don't need my letters anymore, Elon. You haven't for years. You've become the father I always knew you could be. You've found love again. You've lived fully. You've honored my memory without being trapped by it. I'm so proud of you. The leather book contains my journals from when I was pregnant with Marcus and Owen. I want the boys to have them when they become fathers themselves, so they can understand what I felt, what I hoped, what I dreamed for them. The velvet box contains something I want you to give to Maya. Open it and you'll understand. Elon opened the velvet box. Inside was a silver necklace with a small pendant, two birds flying together. Another note explained, "This necklace represents you and Maya, two birds who both lost their partners but found each other and learned to fly again. Give it to her with my blessing and my gratitude. Tell her thank you for loving my boys. Thank you for loving my husband. Thank you for being what our family needed." Elon's vision blurred with tears. The letter concluded, "This is goodbye, my love. Real goodbye. No more letters after this. No more messages from the past. It's time for you to live fully in the present. I've loved you for 18 years beyond my death. That's a gift we both got. You received my love in letters and I got to pour my love into words that would last. But now, finally, I can rest. And you can be free. Live well, Elon Musk. Love well, be present. Cherish every moment. And know that somewhere in memory and love I'm smiling. Because you did it. You survived. You thrived. You lived. That's all I ever wanted. Forever yours, but now finally at peace, Clara." That evening, Elon gave Maya the necklace. He told her what it meant. She cried and put it on immediately. "She really did think of everything," Maya whispered. "She did." They stood together in the kitchen of the home Elon and Clara had shared, the home where Maya now lived too, where Marcus and Owen had grown up, where love had died and been reborn. Outside, the Texas sun was setting, painting the sky orange and pink. The same colors it had been 18 years ago when Clara was alive. Life had continued, as it always does. The letters had stopped, but Clara's love never would. It lived in Marcus's intelligence and Owen's creativity. It lived in Elon's commitment to being present. It lived in every memory, every photo, every moment they shared her stories. Clara Matheson Musk had died on June 3, 2024. But through 307 letters, 47 videos, and 18 years of carefully planned gifts, she had found a way to love beyond death. She had proven that some loves are truly eternal, not because they trap you in the past, but because they give you strength to face the future. And that was the greatest gift of all. We hope this story touched your heart and reminded you that love never truly ends. Where are you listening from? Drop your country or city in the comments below. We love hearing from our viewers around the world. If this story moved you, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. By subscribing, you help us spread more stories of kindness, hope, and love to people who need them. And don't stop here. Click on the video appearing on your screen right now for another inspiring story that will warm your heart. Thank you for watching. Keep spreading kindness. And remember, love is the most powerful force in the universe.